Every live from the Ministry of Information, Culture Affairs and Tourism, specifically from the Charles William Press Hall on this 18th day of April AD 2024. Information Minister Jerolinmek Matthew Piah is now on the podium with his introductory comments.
For a competition that will not take place in Liberia, where all of our competitions are held. They will take place out of Monrovia, specifically in Cape County. And that event will not only be a sporting event, it will not only be promoting the sporting sector, it's going to have huge tourism implications. So we do have our special guest here today who will speak a little deeper about what will be taking place in Liberia and what the time frame looks like. We know there's been much said about accountability, even though some of our actors have chosen to decide where accountability should take place and where it should not. They sometimes describe some of the steps towards accountability as witch hunt, but at the same time they embrace all interventions. There's been much talk about how people should account for what took place in Liberia during the war. And we see steps towards ensuring that there is accountability for war and economic crimes that were committed or allegedly committed. The National Legislature, both houses agree on a resolution. That resolution has been forwarded to the President, His Excellency President Walker. He is currently doing a review of what they've submitted. And sometime next week, the determination will be made. We will organize a very big event. And at that event, the President's action on the resolution that has been passed by the National Legislature will be known. We just wanted to make that known so that you are aware that President Walker is already in possession of the resolution, and he, along with his team, are currently reviewing, and the action that he will take thereafter will be announced to you, but that action will be sometime next week. We also want to announce that the government intends to establish what we call maintenance zones in all 15 counties of Liberia. This is something that was done in the past. And you realize that even though the entire country is not paid, the roads in Liberia, particularly during the period of President Torwald, those were always accessible. That's because those maintenance zones were operational. As a result of the war, those zones were destroyed. The government believes that until we can pave all of our roads, ensuring that they are maintained is the best approach. So we've made a decision and we have the intent to re-establish all of the maintenance zones. It's also our intent as a government to acquire over 300 to 400 pieces of earth-moving equipment that will be deployed in each of those zones. All of the 15 zones will be covered. What that will do is that continuous interventions will be made in all of the strategic corridors that are basically difficult to pass through during the rainy season. And what that will do also is that the road will be continuously year-round possible. And it will resolve some of the challenges and constraints that commuters are faced with. Notwithstanding, the government still remains committed to ensuring that all of our county capitals are connected with paved roads. But before we can do that, we've got to make sure that the gravel roads that we have are maintained, they are accessible, they are passable, and the approach we decided to take to do that is to re-establish all of the maintenance zones and deploy moving equipment that will be stationed at each of the zones. From the very beginning of this administration, there was a major indication that pointed to the fact that President Buhari was ready to reassemble foreign direct investment in Liberia. When he was vice president, we had about 16 billion foreign direct investment. I'm not sure what can be said as to what happened in the last 6 years. So when he took over, and we had the hard power exploration in HPS coming in, it was a big deal for us. And we are pleased to note that HPS just announced in a statement that the company has completed what they call technical due diligence of Liberia St. John River Old Lexington. It's good news because it points to the fact that progress is being made. In all that they are doing, in the end, they are supposed to be able to present to the government interministerial team a finalized documentation on the agreement that will have to require legislative action through ratification so that the intervention they're making in Liberia goes into full swing. But just that update about the completion of the technical due diligence is a clear indication that they did not just come. They didn't just announce that they were here, but they've been working, and eventually the agreement, concession agreement will go into full swing. And we are still trying to find the possibility to draw the attention of more foreign investors here in Liberia, because that is the only way we can build our economy. We can address the issue of jobs. It's not just about finding jobs for a few persons in government. We've got to develop our private sector, and one of the surest ways we can do so, in addition to what Liberian-owned and other foreign businesses are doing here, is to seek foreign direct investment. And we are glad as a government that we're on track with those kinds of interventions. Having said these few words, let me now invite our guest. I don't know who's coming. Let's come. She will accordingly properly introduce herself and which group she represents before saying to you what's going to be happening here in a couple of weeks, right? 5 weeks, yes, a couple of weeks. Here on the House is mark, and it is meant to give our country the recognition it needs, the attention it deserves. And like I said, as the minister in charge of tourism, I'm glad that what they are about to announce has deep tourism implications.